Okay, so it's 11 o'clock, so let's get started with our warm-up. Okay, so just our usual routine, just marching on the spot first. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed, okay? Posture nice and tall. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, try to breathe into our stomach area. So as you breathe in, your stomach should expand. As you breathe out, it should kind of shrink in a little bit. Okay, so let's just march for a couple more minutes. Okay, so while we're doing this, let's also breathe out and just kind of round our back, relax our neck a little bit. Okay, breathing in, doing the opposite, bring our heart up towards the ceiling. Get shoulders maybe back a little bit, try to open your palm a little bit as well. Okay, breathing out. Okay, try to suck in your stomach a little bit. Okay, and then opposite as you breathe in. Okay, just do that for a couple more repetitions and let more people in. Okay, so standing tall. Let's just turn side to side, so still continue with the hands. Okay, try to bring your arms a little further back this time. Okay, looking to your fingers, or at least behind you. Okay, and relax, coming back in. Okay, and then just continue for maybe 3 to 5 times. To the side. Okay, relaxing the upper body, rotating side to side, swing our arms. Okay, see if you can reach a little higher up. Okay, so you're touching your shoulders in the front and trying to reaching up your back a little bit in the back. Okay, and then both arms behind and back. Okay, breathing in again. Okay, open to the chest. Breathing out, just relax. Okay, also lightly press your back into your hands as well. Okay, and lightly pull your shoulders back. Okay, breathing in as we do so. Okay, and see if you can slowly bring arms a little high up if you feel comfortable. As you open up and relax again. And shake it off a little bit. Okay, we're going to do the opposite. Okay, we're just going to reach up. Okay, just behind our head. Okay, slowly see if you can reach a little further down and point your elbows a little bit higher up. Okay, alternating between the two sides. Okay, and just do let more people in. Okay, and if you feel comfortable, see if you can do the same on the opposite side. Okay, so try to bring your fingertips a little bit closer together behind you. Okay, you can kind of scoot it up a little bit. Okay, you'll probably find one side is a little bit easier than the other. Okay, and we're done, just relax. Okay, we shake out your arms. Okay, and then same thing, just front to back. Okay, see if you can turn, try to reach a little bit further behind you. Okay, and let's try to reach up a little bit. Okay, so also bring your chest up. So we're not leaning back so much. We try and bring the chest up and try to bring our arms beside our ears. And then we're just going to go into rotation of the shoulders. So elbows beside the body. Try to push your thumb backwards. Okay, same thing, just in the opposite direction. Okay, lifting the elbows away from the body, reach into the armpits. Entire arm rotates inwards or downwards. Okay, chest stays up. Okay, opposite. Put a plate on your shoulders, drive your elbows forward. Okay, so elbows go forward, palms goes up. Okay, and you can do the opposite again. Okay, but just try to put a plate beside your shoulders, beside your head. Okay, and rotation of the hands or the wrists. Okay, forearm might be a little bit sore by now. Okay, open and close the palms, fingertips, side to side. Okay, and then just wiggle all your fingers. Okay, and relaxing the upper body. Okay, and we're just going to hip circles. Okay, so try to drive a bigger circle using your hips. Okay, and just relax the upper body on top of that. Okay, exaggerate backwards movements. Okay, legs about armpit width apart. Okay, back longer. Okay, driving the hips back. Okay, and we're just kind of reaching down. But you can think of pushing your butt back. Okay, and then sending back up. Okay, knees can be a little bit bent. Okay, try to maybe breathe in as we reach your butt back. Okay, and breathing out as we stand tall. Okay, very similar. Maybe feet can be slightly further apart. Okay, still pushing our butt back. Okay, but this time bending the knees a little bit more. Knees are still tracking or over the feet. Okay, so just sitting on a tall stool. Okay, just going back and forth. Okay, spine looks exactly the same. Hips more or less is the same. Knees bending a little bit more. Ankles bending a little bit more. Okay, feet are a little wider apart. Okay, so still pushing the hips back. Okay, but this time keep one leg straight and one leg bent. Okay, but the bent knee is still over the feet or the foot. Okay, you're still pushing your butt backwards. Okay, so your knees shouldn't be too far in front of your toes. Okay, so use your hips by kind of bending it or driving it backwards. Okay, and let's bring our feet back. Okay, front to back this time, a little bit wider apart. Okay, bring your belt buckle up towards the ceiling in front of you. Drive your heels downwards in the ground behind you. Okay, so feel a little bit of stretch in front of your hips. Okay, square your hips in front. Okay, breathing in. Okay, just try to shift your hips a little more forward while still trying to bring your belt buckle up. Okay, and your heel down towards the floor behind. Okay, and we're just going to contract and relax. Okay, so you're trying to create more space between your front of your pelvis and your heels. Okay, widen your stance a little bit for balance or hold on to a wall or a chair. Okay, we're gonna hold this position. Okay, and whatever leg is back, and then reach up, pressing up to the ceiling, open your palm up. Okay, if you feel comfortable, so you can reach diagonally behind you. You might feel a little bit of stretch, kind of side of the trunk. Maybe a little bit underneath the armpits, depending on how far you're reaching. Okay, shake it off a little bit, and then just switch to the other side whenever you're ready. Okay, so it might be easier if you have something to hold on to. Okay, but still try to bring your belt buckle towards the ceiling in front of you, and then try to get your back heel into the ground behind you. Okay, so they can't go in opposite directions. Okay, you should feel a little bit of stretch in front. Okay, and once again, we're going to contract and relax a few times. Okay, so try to shift your hips a little more forward. Okay, but still trying to lift your belt buckle up, still trying to drive your heels down into the ground behind. 3 to 5 times. Okay, and hold that end range for a little longer. Once again, whenever the leg is back, you're going to reach up with that same side arm. Okay, side bend a little bit. Okay, pressing into the ceiling almost. Okay, and almost try to reach behind you a little bit as well to the side. Take a deep breath in as you do so. Okay, and also 3 to 5 times. Okay, coming back out, shake it out a little bit. Can be a little stiff. Okay, so let's loosen it back up. So we're just going to swing our leg front to back. Okay, try to get most of the motion from your hip joint. Okay, so the rest of your body shouldn't be swinging too much. Okay, so you're pretty still. Okay, mostly just our leg and a hip that's bending and extending. Okay, same thing on the other side whenever you're ready. Okay, smaller motion first. Okay, and into bigger motion, you have no pain. Okay, and same thing, just side to side. You see, as you lift your leg up, so you can point your toes more forward and maybe a little bit towards the ground. And repeat on the other side. Okay, and then afterwards, we're going to go into a full half circle. So you're just going to swing your leg kind of around. Okay, as you go back, so you can squeeze your butt muscle and not so much lean forward. Okay, so I try to open the front of the hips. Okay, feel free to switch directions. Okay, the hips might be a little tight. Okay, just switch whenever you're ready. Do less if you're tired. Okay, start off with either direction. Okay, but just try to squeeze your butt muscle as you drive your leg back. Okay, go as slowly as you like. Okay, and relax your hips afterwards. Okay, just rotate your hips a little bit. So kind of putting out a cigarette motion with your heel. Okay, and the motion comes from the hip. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, and let's loosen the knees a little bit. Just bringing your heel closer to your butt. It's shifting your weight side to side. Okay, and onto the ankles. We're just going to rock back and forth. You see if you can exaggerate motion. Okay, maybe see if you're pushing onto your big toes or if you're pushing out to the other toes. Okay, maybe see if you can do both. Okay, side to side, just leaning our foot side to side. Okay, check our balance. Okay, so see if you can stand a little more on one foot a little longer. Okay, maybe use a little bit less hand support. Okay, try to almost grip the floor of your foot. Okay, so you can maybe try to spread out your toes a little bit if you can. Same thing on the other side. Okay, and just scratch the floor of your toes. Okay, try to lift your toes off the ground. You try to spread your toes and bring them back together. Okay, and just shake everything out. Okay, so let's grab our bands. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to do the basic motions movements today. So that will be the pull, the push. Okay, the upper body, okay, lower body, kind of similar idea. You can think of pushing upwards. Okay, and then you can think of this would be more of a pull because you're using the muscles in the back, so you're lifting something from the ground. Okay, so we call this a hinge motion. Okay, so we're going to start off the pulling motion first. Okay, so the position we're going to get into is the hinge position. So kind of like what we did in the warm up. Okay, so hips bent, knees can be slightly bent or even straight, whatever's comfortable for you, but they're not. Your upper body should be a little more horizontal, so don't let it bend too much. Okay, and what we're doing is that we're keeping our spine nice and long. Okay, and we're just going to pull our shoulders back, pull our elbows back, squeezing something in between our shoulder blades. Okay, and then coming back then. Okay, while keeping this position. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put the band, step on the middle of the band. Okay, so our feet could be more narrow, probably armpit width will be fine. Okay, so we're going to set our hips back. Okay, you can check your spine first. So this will be a short spine. This will be a longer spine. Okay, and we can loop it maybe a few times to increase its intensity or make it longer to make it easier. Okay, and we're going to do this on the 4 counts. Okay, so we're going to pull out for 2. Okay, pause for a little bit and then drop it back down for 2. So it'll be 1, 2. Let's try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Okay, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4. So the back might be getting a little tight. 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're doing about 10 times. Could be more, could be less. Okay, depending on your strength level, depending on what band, how tight the band you're using is. Okay, if you can easily do 15, probably you should pick a heavier band. Okay, if you can't even do 5, probably use a lighter band. Okay, but stop any points that you like. Okay, coming back up. Okay, probably most time with your back. Okay, shake it off a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the lower body a little bit. So actually, let's do the lower body first. Okay, so we're just gonna go into a squatting motion. Okay, so it'll be a little different than what we just did. So remember, this is a hinge. Okay, so the hips are bending. Okay, so knees are not bending this much. Okay, we then go into a squatting motion. So this time your hips still bend. Okay, but your knees bend a little bit more. So there's a more of an angle here behind my legs. My back is still, instead of short, you still want your spine to be longer. Okay, and we're just going to be sitting up and down like so. Okay, and we're going to do this on a 3 count. Okay, so it'll be 2 seconds down. You can pause a little bit at the bottom. Okay, and 3, just stand up a little bit faster than you are compared to when you're sitting down. Okay, and you can do this with your own body weight first, or you can add a little bit of resistance. Okay, so very similar to what we just did. Okay, but this time your feet just a little bit wider apart. Okay, so can be probably at least kind of your armpit width apart. Toes probably pointing out slightly. Okay, so still setting your hips back. Okay, but this time bending your knees a little bit more. Okay, once again, the bottom, you can loop the band a little bit to add a little bit of resistance. Okay, still lengthen your spine. Okay, and stand up for 1. Okay, so it'll be 2, 2, 3. Okay, and your knees, my knees are not caving in, so I want my knees to be kind of close to the band, so they're roughly over my feet. Okay, so it'll be 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. 6, 2, 3. Okay, and obviously the lower you go, the harder it becomes. 7, 2, 3. 8, 2, 3. 9, 2, 3. 10, 2, 3. Okay, so front of my thighs is getting a little bit sore, tough feeling. 11, 2, 3. Okay, so we're doing about 10 once again. Do more or less depending how you're feeling. Okay, but once again, if you can easily get to 15, then probably you need slightly heavier band, or maybe go a little bit deeper. Okay, once again, stop at any point that you like. Okay, so usually stop when you feel like you have 2 or 3 more left in the tank. Okay, so don't push yourself to fatigue so much. Okay, a little bit sore, that's good enough. Okay, so probably be a little bit more out of breath, heart rate might be a little bit faster. It's just because we are using bigger muscles. Okay, upper body also have to be stable. Okay, and we're gonna just move about a little bit. Okay, when you feel ready, we're gonna repeat these 2 exercises. Okay, so once again, the pull, remember that's a little different than the squat. So for the pull, the upper body should be more horizontal or parallel to the ground. Okay, so that's the pull. For the squatting, your upper body is going to be a little bit more vertical. Okay, your knees going to be bending a little bit more, knees a little bit more forward compared to, so it's between this, okay, and this. Okay, so make sure there's a difference between the two. Okay, so let's go back to the pole when we are ready. Okay, so for once again, this one you can have your feet a little more narrow, up to you. Okay, push your butt back, less bend the knees, spine always inside short. We want it to be longer. Adjust the difficulty, tension in the band, and try squeezing my elbows back, squeezing my shoulders back. Okay, maybe add a little bit of pause at the top. Okay, before dropping back down, let's do it in 4 counts. Maybe 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you don't have to always do the same number of repetitions between the sets. Okay, so for example, get a little time back. So for the second round, the second set, I might do less. So you can use this as a form of progression as well. So if you first started, you might only be able to do, let's say, 10 reps in the first set, maybe, let's say, 7 sets in the second set. Okay, as you practice, you may find in later sets you can do more as well. So the total number you did in that session might increase. So that is a form of progression as well. Okay, so not just how much weight we're using, okay, just how many repetitions we do in one set. Okay, so I'll shake it out a little bit. Make sure I'm recording. I am. That's good. Okay, and when we're ready, we can go back into the squatting motion, okay, or sitting up and down motion. Okay, so once again, set your hips back, but this time bend your knees a little bit more. Knees tracking over the feet. Okay, you're not so much driving your knees forward. You're also pushing your hips back at the same time. Okay, so roughly this would be bend in the hips, this would be bend in the knees. Okay, and you can use kind of weight to it using the band. Okay, so make sure your feet are wide enough for your hips. Okay, some people can squat with very narrow hips. Most people maybe roughly a little bit wider than your hips, kind of shoulder or armpit width apart. Okay, set your hips back. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. Long spine. Add a little bit of tension. Okay, and we're standing up on a 1 count. Okay, so okay, 2, 2. You want to pause a little longer. 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3. Okay, when you stand up, make sure you maybe double check that your hips and your shoulders are kind of coming up at the same time. So instead of some people might do something like that. Okay, or might do something like that. Okay, make sure that they're both kind of coming up at the same time. Okay, so let's call this 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3. Okay, once again, stop any points you like. 12, 2, 3, 13, 2, 3. Okay, so I feel like I can probably do 2 to 3 more good repetitions. Okay, so find a stop for me. Okay, deep breath in, shake it out, do a weird dance. Just loosen things up. Okay, relax when we don't need to be tense. Okay, be tense when we are lifting. Okay, so hands, you can even shake your hands a little bit. Okay, so when you kind of flip it around, so the upper body is going to do a push this time, the lower body is going to do a pull this time. Okay, so starting off with the push, okay, so we're just going to drop one tail of the band on the floor, step on it with just one foot or both feet, up to you, whatever secured. Okay, we want to watch our posture first. Okay, so as usual, we want a longer spine. Okay, so a longer spine doesn't mean an arched spine. It just means taller. So you can think of someone lift, you try to push the back of your head up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Okay, and you're gonna kind of bring the band other side close to your shoulder, other shoulders. The lifting arm, the elbow doesn't have to be straight down, just roughly point up to towards the floor is fine. Okay, but stay tall for the movement. Okay, you can also lightly stabilize the rest of the body. Okay, so try to pull your knees slightly further back, push the floor slightly apart with both feet. Okay, you can lightly squeeze out the hand as well. Okay, so you have a stable platform to push up on the other side. Okay, so at the beginning, we start off with elbows roughly to shoulder height. Okay, if you feel comfortable, there's no pain, you can go a little bit higher up. Okay, and this time we'll do a 4 counts as well. So let's call this fourth time. So 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4. Forgot to mention the thumb is kind of pointing more backwards. 10, 2, 3, 4. Once again, about 10 times. 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is when I feel like I can at most do 2 to 3 good repetitions. And I'm going to choose to stop. Yeah. Okay, once again, shake things off. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can move on to the other side. Okay, same thing applies. Okay, so before we move our limbs, make sure you have a stable platform to push them. It doesn't have to be necessarily upwards. It could be kind of forward or anything. Kind of anchor yourself down with your body, your legs. So you can lightly push the floor apart. So imagine trying to rub the floor apart as you feel your hips tightening a little bit. Okay, slightly push your knees slightly backwards. Okay, so your thighs are slightly tense. Okay, make sure your upper body, your trunk is a little tight as well. Okay, so lightly kind of just squeeze out the side. Okay, not too hard, just a little bit. Okay, just to make sure our body is stable with a stable platform so we can push, exert our strength on the other side. Okay, so the pushing arm, once again, the elbow is just roughly pointing towards the floor. It doesn't have to be straight there. Doesn't have to be straight forward or out to the side. Just find somewhere that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so let's call this 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again, stop at any points that you like. Okay, I'm going to choose to stop here. Okay, and once again, shake things off a little bit. Okay, when you feel more time, you can even just go take a walk. Okay, so for the lower body, we do a pulling movement. Okay, so that's the one that we are picking up 2 bags of groceries, sending up, okay, and putting it back there. Okay, so this is once again different from the squatting because our knees are not bending as much. So for the hips, we're hinging, so both starts with H. Okay, so we're bending more for the hips. We're engaging the muscles in the back a little bit more. Okay, so you shouldn't feel too much soreness in the front of your leg. Okay, it's mostly the back side of the body. Whereas when we do like a squatting, we felt it more in the front of the thighs. Okay, so it'll be this type of motion. Okay, but we're gonna make this a little more difficult by doing it more with one foot. Okay, so feet are maybe a little bit closer together, so maybe just roughly hip width apart. Okay, we're gonna put one foot slightly back, okay, so that we're using less of the leg that's backwards and using more of the legs that's still straight. Okay, still same kind of motion, we're still hinging, so we're still pushing our hips back. Okay, you probably feel more of a stretch behind the straight leg. Okay, and then you're gonna push your hips back up. Okay, so we're back still nice and tall. Okay, and back up. Okay, if you have weight, it's actually you can just load it by holding onto something, or even 2 bags of groceries. Okay, so you're putting the groceries down. Okay, and then you are bringing it back up. Okay, and so you feel it more in the back of the straight leg and a little bit in the back of the butt of the straight leg as well. Okay, but if you're using a band, you can just kind of hook the middle of the band between on a straight leg. Okay, you're still hinging back. Okay, and once again, you can adjust the tension that way. Okay, and you're just standing up tall. Okay, so make sure you bring your chest up as well. Okay, so hips back. Okay, and standing tall. Okay, so try to keep your knees a little bit straighter this time. Okay, a little more stretch behind. Okay, so let's also let's do this with 4 counts. So it'll be let's call this 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4, 13, 2, 3, 4. So you probably notice you can do a little bit more using this type of motion compared to when we were kind of sitting up and down. Okay, partly because our hip muscles are pretty big, pretty strong. It is the biggest muscle in the body. Okay, it's a bit more efficient movement as well. Okay, but hopefully you felt it more behind this time. Okay, compared to before where it was the squatting is more the front, whereas this is more the back side of the leg. Okay, shake it off. Okay, when we're ready, we can switch over to the other foot, just the exact same thing. Okay, once again, you can even practice the motion a few times. So I'm putting one leg back again. Okay, I'm still pushing my hips back. Okay, I'm trying to be not kind of curved like this, so everything is still kind of square to the front. Okay, I'm trying to keep the straight leg a little bit straighter this time, so not too bent like this. Okay, trying to straighten it out. Okay, my body is a little bit more horizontal. Okay, I'm trying to use my back of my straight leg a little bit more. Okay, and I do this by sitting back or setting my hips back a little bit further. Okay, and then trying to drive the hips forward as I stand up. Okay, and when you're ready, once again, you can just add the band. Okay, hinging back. Okay, load the band up to a level you're comfortable with. Okay, spine still nice and long. Squeezing my butt. Driving it forward to stand up tall. Okay, still trying to push my butt back. Okay, so hips back. So 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. So at the top, try to squeeze your butt a little more forward. Okay, your butt is tight. So I think we're 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Once again, stop at any point you like. We're aiming for just roughly 10 times and leave a few in the tank. 12, 2, 3, 4, 13, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Once again, do whatever you like to loosen up. Usually I do a weird dance. Okay, and we're just going to repeat these exercises. Okay, so once again, we are pushing outwards, okay, with our upper body, okay, but create a stable platform to push from. Okay, so we don't want to be kind of all loose in the rest of the body. So spread the floor apart slightly. So I'm trying to drive my foot back, even though my feet is stuck to the ground. Okay, I'm lightly bringing my knees slightly back. Okay, I'm kind of lightly switching my butt. And then now I'm moving side, I'm lightly making a fist. Okay, so I'm stabilizing the rest of my body. And the other arm, I'm just going to push upwards to whatever I'm comfortable with. So if your shoulders only go up this high, just stay there. Okay, don't go into pain. Okay, so whenever you're ready. Okay, and kind of feel free to adjust the intensity. Okay, thumb is either pointing kind of back, mostly backwards. Okay, so 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to choose to stop here for myself. You can do more once. Okay, just whenever you're ready, you can switch to the other arm. Okay, same thing applies. Lightly spread the floor apart. Lightly bring your knees back. Okay, lightly squeeze your butt forward, squeeze your butt forward. Okay, other hand, soft fist. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so almost done. Okay, we're just gonna go back into the hinging motion, the single leg hinge. Okay, so I'm not gonna explain as much this time. Okay, so I'm still just stepping on it with one foot, the other leg slightly backwards. Okay, set your hips back, knees, the leg of the band, relatively straight. Okay, and just tension. Back is nice and tall. And setting it up and down and 4 counts. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once again, you can, I should probably be using a heavy band for myself. Okay, but just do as many as you feel comfortable. Okay, reset. Okay, whenever you're ready, just switch over to the other side. Okay, main thing, so set our hips back, less knee bend. Two, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. If we're going to mention our shoulders, don't let your shoulders round forward. So make sure light tension, keeping your shoulders wider. Okay, it doesn't have to be back, just a little bit wider. So don't cave your chest in when we lean forward. Okay, I think we're somewhere around 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4, 13, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shaking things out. Okay, so let's just stretch, do a little bit of stretching, and then we'll call it a day afterwards. Okay, so let's start the reverse. Okay, let's read the prayer stretch. Okay, so once again, it's not just bring your hands down, it's trying to straighten out your fingers. It's trying to pull our fingers apart, okay, but trying to bring your wrist a little bit low. Okay, so if you're up here, you might be able to still pull your fingers apart. When you're down here, nothing really moves much, okay, but you can still feel the back of your hand engaging. Okay, and we're gonna hold this for just 3 to 5 deep breaths in and out. Okay, and slowly coming back out. Okay, shoulders, just a usual shoulder stretch. Okay, and for the hips and the thighs, probably should use the chair. Okay, so you're just going to lean away from the chair. Okay, you can cross the legs if you want to. Keep it kind of push the hips backwards to the side until you feel a stretch. Kind of closer to the side, to the back of the butt area. Okay, this leg can be wherever. Okay, I usually prefer just crossing in front. You might feel a stretch behind your thighs as well. Okay, switch if you're ready. So whenever you move your head up and down, you might need a little bit of a pause. Okay, depending on the angle, you might feel it in slightly different places. Okay, when you stand up, just give yourself a little bit of a pause. Okay, last one, front of the thighs. Okay, so if you can, grab your ankles or your foot, belt buckle up towards the ceiling, knees towards the ground. Okay, and switch when you're ready. Okay, shake everything out. Maybe just kind of do a little bit of a circle. Okay, and let's sit down for a second. Okay, just let ourselves kind of round our back a little bit. And keep breathing in, just do a little bit opposite. Okay, so usually when we're standing for too long, when we're emphasizing the straightening too much, if you want to just let that back to the opposite a little bit. Okay, so let your head just hang a little bit. You don't have to pull down anything, just kind of relax it. Keep breathing out fully. Okay, breathing in, just go a little bit wider, a little bit taller. You don't have to overly arch your back. Maybe one last time. Okay, you can even just lightly have your hands forward, just kind of reach for with the knuckles a little bit. Okay, just spend maybe a couple of breaths here. Okay, coming back out. Okay, just spend a little more time opening back up. Okay, you can even use this chair to help you. Your chair is sturdy enough. Open it back up a little bit. Okay, but make sure your chair is a sturdy one. Okay, and shaking out. Okay, and definitely a little bit over time today, so thank you for coming. See everyone next time. Bye. Yeah, I did. I record every single one actually. Yeah, so I can. It's in on the YouTube channel. So let me just. I can link it to the chat. Just give me a second. No problem. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, so yeah, that looks right. Okay, so this is the where I just upload everything. Yeah, so pretty much all my exercise classes is uploaded.